Holy nostalgia.
On today's episode of Nostalgia 101, we have Ryan McKenzie, owner of Music Makes You Move DJs, to talk about, well, the music that makes you move. School's in session, nerds.
Let's go dancing.
Let's go dancing. Welcome, everyone, to Nostalgia Test Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Dissinger, here in LA. I'm with my co host and longtime friend, Manny Coelho, there in New York. Manny, you ready
Yeah,
for the 101?
I am ready to do the Macarena,
Please,
the
please
Harlem
no.
Shake, and what is it?
The twist?
What did I used to do? The electric slide. I did so many freaking YMCA. There, you name them. When I was working as I think I worked for a DJ company from the age of like 16 to 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
a place called Hollywood DJs, and my sister was dancing there, and they needed a dude, as twin sister, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I got to get paid to do dancing, and we were called inspirational dancers. Like,
I hope
and
there's
my
tape.
yeah, I mean, you could still see me dance at weddings and stuff now, but it was like the whole goal was you just need to make sure that the mom or the grandmother were having a great time, and that was it.
That
Like
was
that
your
was it.
job.
Or
Dance
like
with the mom and
we used to
grandma.
do a lot of bar mitzvahs, and that was
Yeah.
weird too because like I was like somewhat of some of their ages, and
Mm-hmm.
it was. And then but I got shoved into being like part of the photo booth person. I was like a big head a couple times, like Rocky,
Oh my God.
Frank Sinatra, you name it. I think
The
I've done
problem is
all the
you,
different
you
things.
show some competency and then they ask you to do everything.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, and then I ended up starting to because I was in film too in college, so I was editing wedding videos, and
Oh my
that goal was
God,
like you
bro.
just had to make the wife cry. So like there was all these like criterias that I do, but it was
Oh
good
my God.
cash at that,
Yeah. For
go and
that
just
age,
dance
of
for
course,
4 hours.
19. Yeah.
But I think they really just hired me because they needed somebody to like lift things and like roadie everything. So
You should release a DJ company hacks book, Manny.
yes,
Oh, there you go. There you
where you
go.
the
Tips,
Well,
follow
tips and
me
tricks.
dances.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my
all right, the
God.
crisscross.
Well, everyone, the voice you hear on the other voice is Ryan McKenzie, owner of Music Makes You Move DJs. Ryan, thank you so much for being on this episode of Nostalgia Test 101. Why don't you let the audience know a little bit about yourself, and Music Makes You Move, and then we're gonna jump in. I got questions, we have songs we're gonna talk about, but yeah, say what's up to audience.
Yeah, for sure, Dan. Thanks for having me on. Sorry to chime in a little early there. I
No,
think I got a
Oh
little
go
no, no,
excited.
it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm a Valley boy, whether I like it or not. Um, I have always been into music. I got into DJing. It's kind of a funny story, but so I was waiting tables out of high school at PF Chang's, um, of all places, and I was training this guy to be a new server. And after training with me for a week, he's like, "Hey, you've got a good personality. You know a lot about music. Have you ever thought about being a DJ?" And I like, no. And he goes, well, I'm just working here for Capital. I just started a DJ company. Would you be interested in learning how to DJ? And I was like, sure. So he kind of taught me the ropes and threw me out there way too early, way too early. Started DJing events. I remember doing one event for him at the Queen Mary, and we are doing like a 500 person prom, and we had to do the balloon drop, and it was my job while he's DJing to like pull the string on the net for the balloon drop, and I'm up in like the rafters of the Queen Mary, and it's like stuck in a knot, and I'm sweating, and I can see the sweat dripping down, falling the levels onto the dancers down below in the Queen Mary, and I'm like
Oh.
yanking it, and he's DJing, looking up at me, being like, "What the?" Yeah. Uh, so fast forward, he moved to San Diego. I started running the LA side of things, checking out equipment to DJs, and he then moved to Atlanta, and I bought some of his equipment off of him and decided to start my own thing. Um, And it started slowly, as most businesses do. And then I got an opportunity. This is where I really kind of like refined my craft. I got an opportunity to work for Princess Cruises as a DJ.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
so I was on a cruise, and I would go every year with my best friend and his family. And so I'm on like year five. I know the run of show. They're on the cruise ship, and I'm talking to the DJ one night on like one of our fifth cruises, and he goes, "Are you a cruise DJ?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Well, you seem like you are." I'm like, "No, I just go on a lot of cruises, and I'm also a DJ. So like, it sounds like I know what I'm doing up here." And he goes, "Well, you should talk to so and so at corporate office in Valencia. You're from LA, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, talk to this person." So I talked to that person, and it turns out that the person, the DJ that referred me, is like their best DJ in like the fleet. So
Wow.
it was quite a nod. So I go in and audition in a huge sound stage there in Valencia, California, and after about 30 minutes, the uh, the auditioner comes up to me and he goes, "So you're great and you've got great music, but you need to learn how to DJ."
So I wanted to ask you, like, I want to chime in here. You auditioned to be a DJ. What's the audition like? So did you have to bring,
Hmm.
but when you, first of all, I don't want to date you, but do you have records? Are you DJing on
So
a
at this time,
digital
it's
CDs?
CDJs. It was
Okay.
CDJs at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
the digital scratching machines and stuff. Okay.
Oh wow.
All right.
exactly. No, you can date me. That's all right.
All right. I mean, I say, I mean, people who watch this. I'm 43, so like, I saw like the company I was working for, like there was one DJ. He would only spin records, and then he finally started buying the DJ,
Mm.
the CD things, and like I had just kind of stopped when everything just became digital. Um, so your audition, what do you mean? Like, how do you prove to an empty room that you're a good DJ? Like,
Yeah, and
did they have people there like
no,
proven?
it was a big room. I mean, they use it a lot for dancers, right? So
Okay.
there's like
Yeah.
ballet bars in there. There's mirrors all around. Like it's a big dance room. They use it for a lot of different talent. But the music coordinator, the music director for Princess is just like, yeah, pretend you're DJ. You've done weddings, right? And I go, yeah, He's like, pretend there's like it's a packed dance floor. You're DJing, and there's a DJ setup, of course, and some speakers, and he's off sitting on like a lounge in the corner, 40 feet away,
This
with a
is hilarious.
notepad.
With a
So
notebook.
That's funny.
I'm like, hey, you guys ready to have a good time tonight? And I'm like, this is
Yeah.
this is really, really awkward. And I think I played a mixture of like some Prince, maybe some Gap Band, maybe some Bob Seger, just hitting all the
So
hits there
they're
back and
trying to
forth.
hear your MC skill. Is really,
Uh,
really what they're
no, not really. I think
no?
he just no, they really wanted to like, and I'll tell you, I finished, and he's like, basically, when I first started DJing, I was just playing the songs that I wanted to hear. I thought that would be great for the crowd, and I'm just fading them in back and
And
forth.
that sounds like me and Dave, Dan, at our block parties we would DJ at, which was
Yeah.
like, by the way, just two stereo systems that we were like, all right, put this on, put this on. So you would just
And
fade in and out. Okay.
yeah, I mean,
So,
I had some like unique transitions, and that I learned over the course of like making it up as I go. But he's like, the music was great. You were great on the mic. You seem like a lot of fun. You got a great recommendation. You need to learn how to like, if we put you on these cruise ships, there's gonna be you're in a nightclub. There's people coming from all over the world, and they're gonna want transitions, and you'll be called out if you can't do it.
yeah.
So
Mm.
he goes, learn that and come back. So I went to Scratch DJ Academy in West
No.
LA,
Wow.
started by Jam Master Jay
Yeah.
from Run
That's
DMC.
wow.
And I went to Scratch DJ Academy, start and with DJ Hoppa, and I learned from like the best DJs around. And after finishing that course, I went back in, and he's like, "All right, go ahead, same room, same guy." And after like 9 minutes, he's like, you're good, man. Uh, we'll let you know when we can have you on a ship." And then a day later, he's like, "Hey, can you be in Skagway, Alaska on next Wednesday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And that was it.
Wow.
For then 4 years, I was traveling around the world,
Wow.
DJing on cruise ships every night from the Mediterranean, learning from different cultures and
Yeah,
ethnicities,
that's gotta be crazy
and
because
and
now you're DJing throughout the world. Like, different cultures want different beats, different
Mm,
Yeah,
BPMs. Like
mm.
they're looking for a whole other thing. Cause like,
and every night.
yeah, yeah. Like you want to talk about 10,000 hours. You're like, you're getting it in. You're getting it in. That's
Wow.
crazy.
That was a wild time. Well, yeah, we'll leave it
Wow.
at that.
That was did you what was like your wake up time? Like on the so obviously you were partying late, right? You're DJing till what, 6 in the morning?
That was pretty rare. I would say, the latest was like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. But, there was some times I had a pretty sweet gig where I was doing the small cruise ship in French Polynesia, and they needed me to go out there on an emergency, and they didn't have a DJ. They had a production crew guy that would go up there in the restaurant from 10 to 11 and play
Wow.
music on an iPad. Like there's
Yeah.
there's no there's no need for a DJ on this ship. But
No.
he got injured. They knew that I was the flexible guy because I was DJing at home. I didn't have a full-time job. And they go,
Mm.
"Hey, can you be on this ship?" So I go on, and everyone's like, "You're like a real DJ. Like, what are you doing on this ship?" And I go, "I don't know. They flew me over here." And I was DJing from 10 to 11 every
Hmm.
night in French Polynesia, like Bora Bora, doing one
Wow.
hour a night for like a month.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Wow.
What a
yeah, it was
life.
pretty. But that's how I refined my sketch. I refined my craft, my 10,000
Yeah.
hours, as you said,
Yeah.
Manny. And after a while, I just said, I would come home in between and do a couple of weddings and make as much as I was making in a week on the ship. And I said,
Mm.
okay, like I need to transition this now. This is what I need
Yeah.
to do full time.
Yeah.
Wow. So how does the
What
transition happen to like from there to start this business and like as building? Like how has that been? Like and like how has the change maybe even been in like how people are DJing, right? Because now there's a whole other level of like, we're not doing too much with CD scratching. It's going much more into the digital.
Producers, right? And
Yeah.
it like just exploded. Yeah. So I was very fortunate to have an amazing life and business mentor,
Mm,
um, who couldn't be further from like music.
mm,
But so, business is universal, right?
Yep.
Um, so I started the business technically in 2011,
mm,
and I was doing the cruise ship from '08 to 2012. So that last year I was doing it, it still was growing in that year. And that's when I
mm,
realized like this is much more lucrative than doing the cruise ships.
mm,
Um, and yeah, I came home, and I'm really into the creative side, branding, and logos. And so I spent a few weeks, got that done, got the domain name, did all the business side of things. And then I just started getting myself out there and offering people discounts and doing weddings for $500, which is wild to think about. I saw a picture of the first wedding that I did with like carpeted Serwin Vega speakers on the floor, and
Whoa.
like it's just
Just
it's embarrassing.
vibrating on the floor.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I actually found out recently that that couple's divorced. So like that's like one mark on my record. But I saw what I charged them, and God, I don't hope they don't listen to this podcast. But I charge them as much as like some of like the lower middle range weddings that I charge now, like 15 years later. Like they paid a premium for my
Wow.
services, and they
Yeah.
had
Wow.
no idea. They had no idea it was my first, yeah, wedding as a company on my own.
Wow.
Wow. Damn. Wow.
Look at that. Is
Yeah,
that your logo on your hat? Is it a sound
yeah,
thing? Yeah.
yeah. This is the new iteration. This is version 2 or 3 of our logo. It's
Hmm.
the MMYM that looks like a sound wave.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was
Cool.
like, that'd be cool if you could scan it and it actually played a song. That's something yeah.
You are onto something.
Dude, Nostalgia Test podcast. We give ideas out
I
like
have a marketing
left and
company.
right. Like
I
it's
run
Yeah.
a
insane.
media company, is a social media marketing company, and
Wait,
I was
really?
looking at, yeah, I do, and a brewery, but I'm a serial entrepreneur that is always trying to still make it, but I put out fires every day. I was gonna ask you, so because you brought it up, you had a mentor, which is great,
Hmm.
because you're now owning a business, so it's not just like you're good at DJing, but you now have to go sell, and you have to, and if you're building a business, I assume you have people under you, so you also have to
Hmm.
have them be as good, or you know
Better.
close to as good or better than
Yeah.
you, and run a type ship. Everything's got to sound the same. Everything's like the party has to go the way it has to go. Like everything now, you escape from being an artist, and a creative, and you become an owner. So did you like that, or were you able to find like the balance?
Hmm.
Yeah, it definitely is a balance. I've learned that managing talent sucks,
Yeah.
right? It is really difficult to manage talent. And then once you
Yeah.
get good talent, like they're good for a reason, right? So they
Hmm.
often want to maybe like have more say than maybe they should, or they want to possibly, do their own thing, or they start questioning how much they're making and not understanding, the laws of being a business owner and overhead, right?
Not
So
Right.
understanding that there's insurance and there's all these other things that happen and
Right.
marketing dollars and you got to keep the lights on. Oh, how did you think you got this job? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
um yeah, so it's been tough, and it's also hard, like separate, like especially when I go into, let's say, a venue, or I create these relationships, so these connections in my network, um and people fall in love with Ryan and not Music Makes You Move. So then they
Hmm.
want Ryan to be the DJ,
Hmm.
or this, there's a wedding planner that, like, she was disappointed because another DJ did the event. And she even said he did a great job. And I said, "What did the bride and groom think?" And she said, "They said he was phenomenal." And at the end, she goes, "However, still looking forward to doing the next event with you." So, like, the DJ did a great job. The couple said he did a
Hmm.
great job. But in her mind, like, I'm the best. Or,
Yeah.
so, like, you have to, it's a balance between like selling the company and selling yourself. And you want to sell the company more and not yourself, because then you can't, it's hard to grow.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Scalability. You can't scale that
Scalability.
way. And then like, yeah, I mean, I have some issues sometimes with the brewery, and we like have a party, and someone's like, "Well, are you going to be there?" I'm like, "No, I have like a life that I need to like do, and a
Yeah.
family that I need to go hang out with." They're like, "Yeah, but like you're the face." It's like, "Yeah, but the beer's you could still drink the beer. Like there's still beer there. I still made that beer. Like you could still have a good time there, but people want to be around you,
Yeah.
right?" So did that woman hear you before, or is
Yeah,
it that?
to be no,
Yeah,
no, to be fair, she did hear me before.
yeah.
But so it's changing the language from, I to we, and
Hmm.
speaking about your business in third person, excuse me. And then also what I've tried to do is, and I did a lot of this during the pandemic, was I tried to streamline all of our services, and what, like, when we show up, what we look like, so it always looks the same. So at
Okay.
least when the DJ shows up, the facade is the same, the
Hmm.
lights behind are the same, the uplights are the same, the photo booth is the same, what we're wearing, so that when we show up, a lot of perception is reality.
Hmm.
So as long as all those things on the surface are all the same, and the communication from my side, from the business standpoint, from the email, all that's the same, and all the templates, everything are the same. I just have to worry about the DJ going in and doing a good job. But
Hmm.
um, a lot, like, one thing my business mentor told me was, he goes, he's a now he's like a 72-year-old Jewish dad, but think of him 15 years ago. Right, you need to be 100% professional on all levels. So from that time you answer the phone, from the time you walk in,
Hmm.
when you're rolling your gear in, everything is in matching bags on a cart. Your
Hmm.
van looks clean. Your shirt is pressed with a logo, and part of that perception, where it is, as long as they walk in and they look the part, and everything looks similar to what they saw online or what they saw from the marketing material, they're already ahead.
Wow.
Yeah.
But as soon as you show up late, or as soon
Hmm.
as you show up and you don't look like a DJ. Like, I remember my business mentor asked, like, why do you need a van? Why do you want to, like, doesn't everything fit inside your Isuzu Rodeo? And
Yeah.
I go, Mostly." And he goes, "Well, then why do you want to waste money on a van?" I said, "Well, let me tell you, um, I've noticed when I show up to a lot of events, even house parties, the smaller events, they always say, 'Oh, wow, like, you can fit all that in your car?'" And they're just kind of surprised. And I think,
Yeah.
and I feel like if I show up with a van, the perception changes. Like, "Oh, this is what he does full time. It's a professional company. He's invested in a work
Hmm.
vehicle." And I gave him those few, cases, and he goes, "You should buy a van. You're right."
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Definitely, because it's like that's what they're used to seeing. Like, oh, it's I don't want to say it's the back of the house. It's the DJ. The DJ comes in a DJ van, and it's sometimes
Right.
black, and it's like or white, and it's like they come out and you see the black speakers. It's like
Yeah.
you're programmed to see that, you know.
Yeah.
So definitely,
Yeah.
wow,
It's like the difference between like a professional baseball team and a Sandlot team. Like, you watch it, they're all
yeah.
in
It's
like
the
crazy
Yankees.
t-shirts and what. Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not going to get smoked in the World Series,
Yeah.
but they look the part, and I'm not going to
They
feel
look
like,
great when it happens.
yeah, I don't feel like I got, gypped out of my money for the tickets. Like, okay, I'm seeing a professional organization here. They just
Yeah.
happen to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So let me ask you,
That's right.
so getting part of the nostalgia part. So that was the professional part. So when you first started and you started getting paid, it was just you. Like
It was
you
just me.
it was just you. And this was in you said around 2011.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
doing more weddings, bar mitzvahs, all of that. What were you? What was
I would
your
say it was more weddings, bar mitzvahs, and
okay.
then now it's evolved to our bread and butter would probably be weddings and corporate events.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
corporate
our
events
is
are huge now.
love
Huge.
we love corporate events. We
Oh,
love them,
we'd
I
and they
love
love
to
love
do a
us.
corporate event.
I love to pour at a corporate event because it's guaranteed I'm making, at least 1,000 or up just to show up with three halves and talk to people about my beer. So I'm
And
just like, yeah,
expectations are clear.
yep,
Hmm.
And yeah, and you know what? And unlike a wedding or unlike most weddings, you're gonna get repeat business out of it.
That's
yeah,
right.
and
Yeah.
there's no actual like there's no drama because like who are you trying to you're just having a good people are just having a good time. People are like
Mm.
most of the time it could be a holiday event. So everyone's like, yeah, the boss is paying. So I'm getting drunk and I'm just having a great time. And you're just like, there's no like, okay, I gotta remember there's the bouquet thing, the cutting of the cake, and
Oh
we
God.
gotta get the mom and dad dance and like
Yeah,
all this stuff.
expectations are different. They have been waiting their entire life for this
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Right.
I'll give credit again to my mentor, since I handle still 95% of the business and admin side of these things. When I can speak, whether it's through correspondence, through email, or through phone call, when I talk to corporate clients, I'm speaking their language, and
Mm.
they respond more to that. Like, okay,
That's
I
right.
can trust you with this
Yeah.
event, and I won't get fired over this, or I won't get reprimanded. Like, there's
Absolutely.
a lot of DJ companies that are still kind of fly by night,
Right.
and they're maybe not the most professional. Doesn't mean they're not gonna DJ a great party,
That's right.
Yeah.
but like this person's like, can I trust you with my event?
Mm.
And when I'm hitting up our leads and I'm sending out responses to leads for corporate events, our close rate on those are much higher because they're like, oh yeah, okay, website check, reviews check, this guy's email check. All right, like
Mm.
let's give this guy a chance.
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent.
Um
So yeah, go ahead, Manny.
the equipment from when you started till now, are you finding that you're going with more, less? Is it less cheesy? Is it more sleek? There's not so much lighting. It's just simple now. Like I'm telling you, I was 2004 to 2000 and I mean probably earlier. So it was like 1998 to 2005 probably. The things I had to bring and
You got
like the
back
things
problems.
yeah, yeah, exactly. What is it like? What was it? Are you are you selling a lot of your old equipment because you're just like this is not even necessary anymore?
Well, yeah, that happened a while ago.
Yeah,
And yeah, the transition has been great. I've loved it.
Mm.
So, it's catch 22. We're bringing more now because we offer more. And
Mm.
we do lighting and photo booth and karaoke and silent disco, right? We're doing more, but the size of the equipment is definitely smaller.
Mm.
The speakers are smaller and lighter. The lights are lighter and smaller. There's less cables because we can run things wirelessly now, or we can have
Mm.
a cocktail speaker out at the cocktail hour that's running Bluetooth on a battery powered speaker,
Oh
right?
wow.
So you've got a little, a work phone on the back of the speaker playing a Spotify playlist plugged into this tower speaker, and it's like when you're done, it's like close the speaker, put the phone away, and you're done. So things have definitely evolved.
Mm.
I've tried to, it's not for like a long event. It's not the most reliable being battery operated, but for most of our events, it works. And so we try and have battery operated lights. So we've got a base, a pole, and we've got magnetic lights as well. So there's no clamping. It's just a metal T-bar, and it's light, 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 on, no cables. And we try and be efficient as possible. And I want it to be easy for the DJs to do it. I want it to be easy for me, and I also want to look clean for the client. So things have really evolved as far as the equipment goes. Referencing back to the Cerwin Vegas that were carpeted, that were the size of a file cabinet that I was doing my first event with.
Yeah.
But you know, I won't. Okay, I'm 39 years old, but I was lucky. I never had to do the records. I
Okay.
never had to show up with a creative record. I learned on records at
Okay.
Scratch DJ Academy because Scratch was like, listen, we know everyone's doing CDJs now. And actually it was like it was just starting to get into where was the DDJ Pioneer controllers with no disc, but you're going to learn on records. So I learned on records, but I was never a record DJ company or record DJ. So I'm fortunate and unfortunate in that regard. I did used to show up with the big CD book with 150 CDs marked one through 150. But yeah, I was fortunate enough not to have to do the records.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean it's interesting because eh, I feel like the way you explain it is like this is a business. I'm running this business to make it, to do the best for my client as possible. And in terms of when we talk about nostalgia, sometimes we get stuck in nostalgia and not think about like, well, what could be better for even like the audience or a client or a consumer for something. And sometimes I know we get stuck on the nostalgia for
I mean, we
something, and
just
it's
talk
like,
about what we like, Dan.
yeah, fuck it. We're just gonna do whatever we want because that's what we came up on, right? But I think in Matt, in terms of this though, I think when you're thinking of music, are there things now that you're still because nostalgia is a big part, I feel like, even in the music world right now, and people are going back to certain songs. Are there songs you feel like that you play or that have come back or that really hit still in terms of nostalgia? Or maybe it's not nostalgia, maybe it's just like this is always going to be good and it's always been good anytime it plays.
So it's funny. I was making fun of Manny earlier when we first started talking about, please don't do the Macarena.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I've been DJing long enough that the Macarena is now back.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Do you know why? It's TikTok.
Because really,
Yeah.
Because what?
TikTok is bringing it back because
Oh,
it's
that's right.
the beat
it's now
is
retro.
the beat is in it, and I've seen the Tootsie Roll. I've seen the Macarena. I've seen the dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
That's
Um,
back to
yeah, there because the
God.
Gen Zs, I guess, yeah, the Gen
Yeah.
Zs are
Hmm.
dancing to it, and they're changing it up. And then the millennials and zennials and the Gen Xers are like, "That's not how you fucking dance to this. This is how you dance to it." So because of that,
Also, there's
it's the
like a battle.
generational wars, and because of
Oh
that, it's
God.
coming back. So now you're
Wow.
getting a new version of it, but you're getting people wanting to hear it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
it's funny.
sucks, by the
I
way.
it, it
That
did
sucks.
it does suck. And what else sucks is like I got so good at so when we have a new client, we send them out uh, a planner form, right? A Google Doc, and we
Mhm.
say, okay, and part of the Google Doc, which is important, is a do play, don't play, and must play,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Your do play is going to be a long, big, chunky list. You're not going to hear all of them. You're going to hear some of them and like adjacent.
Hmm.
The don't play is going to be your shortest list, right? And it's going to be, you're not going to hear any of those songs. You can be generic or as specific as you want. And then there's the must play, and you will hear those songs at some point in the night. And, you know, when I first started, it was like don't play was the Macarena and the chicken dance. And I guess those are like the biggest two. And there were some other
We are
ones.
family. We are
Yeah.
family.
YMCA, right?
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
and like now it's to the point where people don't even like think they need to bring those up anymore. But now it's
Yeah.
like don't play Bruno Mars.
Whoa.
Uptown Funk. Don't play I Got a
Wow.
Feeling, Black Eyed Peas. They've just been so overdone at weddings 10 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would so those are the wedding songs that are cliche that were the same as YMCA and those other songs 10 years before that. So
Wow.
now we're getting to the point where people are oh, Chicken Dance was another one.
Yeah.
So I've now seen the iteration, two generations of those songs coming full circle, and now some of the first ones are coming back.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess that's
Wow.
like so like when you were DJing, people wanted the people that were getting married were sick of certain things that they were constantly listening to, but they also missed the things that they liked when they were kids and they went to like their great aunt's wedding or something. Like it seems like though that's the cycle because I'm trying to remember my wedding, we
Oh,
definitely played Bruno Mars. I had a
I had
blast
a
at my wedding, but
big don't
I had a band at my wedding.
I had a big
Um,
don't playlist. Oh my, it's
yeah,
crazy.
but
I was just like, no.
but
You know,
do you find yourself there one song that's constantly a do playlist, a do play song that's never changed throughout your whole career, or it's a song that if you play, it hits.
Mm,
this one is almost never on the do playlist, but I can play it almost any time.
mm.
Okay, maybe not like a junior high dance or something, or even a high school dance, but any other event, people in their 20s or older, and it's been like this for 20 years. Robin S. Show Me Love.
Oh, okay.
How's that
You
go
got
again?
you got to show me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You made
yeah,
me
yeah.
sing.
You
Robin.
got
You
to
Yeah,
did.
show me love.
Okay, you're gonna
Yeah, all
sing. I'll
right.
sing too.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
You
So
got to.
you've been
Oh, I
so
like
that
that one.
song you play that it's gonna depending on the obviously the age group, but
Got
like
to show me
wow,
love.
It could.
that's
I
Yeah.
mean,
so
it
random.
could be a wedding. It could be a corporate event. It could be a mixer. It could be a cocktail hour. It doesn't matter. Like that song fits and everyone knows it. And the beat has been used and sampled in a lot of different songs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of wild. And that I just in that song, you could play it today, and it almost sounds like it could have been released in the last like 5 years. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound
Right.
like it's from like I don't know. Was that 90,
The
98 maybe
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Something
97,
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe
something like
mid to
that.
early 90s, mid to late, like somewhere in the mid
As
90s.
a New Yorker, I have to ask you,
Damn.
does um Piano Man bother you? Like that to me, I mean, anytime in New York you hear it and there's
It's such a
never
Long Island question.
yeah, well, I have to because he said he grew up in LA. So like to me, Billy Joel's like at every wedding, like at my
Every Long
wedding
Island event.
there was a
Yeah.
huge sing along, and my family from Canada was singing along to it. So like I was like, does it is it
Transcend.
something that's played for years, or you just
No,
hate it?
I think the song that replaces that more that I've had experience with would be like Sweet Caroline,
Yes,
Oh
right?
God, yeah.
yeah,
But Piano Man, I've got issues with that song for other reasons. But that song, I've only really played it because it's kind of long,
it is.
and
Yeah.
it's like it's really like it's telling a story, so it hasn't been used too much in any case. I wouldn't use it as like background music. I wouldn't use. I think we've used it like the last song of the night of the wedding. Like it's something special to the couple, and everyone's singing it, and they're drunk, and they're
Yeah, the
singing
drum.
this
Yeah,
song, and like other
yeah.
than that, I would say like if I looked on the counter on my Serato, I've probably played that song like four times.
Oh
Four times.
wow.
Ever.
See,
Not to say, yeah.
No.
that's crazy to
Yeah.
me.
No. A
Yeah,
Long
is
Island DJ. Yeah, yeah.
when I was working at a DJ company, he would always end with the damn song "We Are Family" or "Last Dance" or "Last
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dance."
What Last
Yeah.
Dance, Donna
Last
Yeah.
Summer.
dance, it's the last. I'm like that. You want to tell? I wrote that as a don't play because I was like, I did this too many times of where I had to get everybody up, and I would have much rather ended with Piano Man. Like the amount of
Let me tell
times,
you, like one of the
like
worst things I could do in life would be to do the Cupid Shuffle or a group dance at an event that I'm not working at.
No.
yeah,
Like, you know, I I could do it
Yeah.
at a wedding tomorrow night.
Mhm.
That's totally fine. Let's go. I'll
Okay.
get out there to the left, to the right, right kick, left kick. Like let's do it. Like I'm working,
Yeah.
and my goal is to make sure that everyone there's having a good time. And if
Mhm.
I'm doing that and they're having a good time, I am happy.
Hmm.
But
Mm.
if I'm at a wedding and they're doing it, it feels like such an out of body awkward experience. It's so
Oh
weird.
yeah.
And
Really?
I can't do it. I can't do it. Or
You can't.
if I'm in the car and some Black Eyed Peas song comes on, I have to change it.
I mean, dude, I get that.
Whoa.
I used to work retail, like CVS, Walgreens, all those stupid stores. And anytime I walk into one of those stores, I like literally, I'm like, I have to leave. I can't be in here. This is the worst thing I've ever. I hate everything in here. I feel weird. I feel like I work there when I walk in there, and then I'm just like, I don't want to be here.
They're like asking you
And
to
Maybe
open up.
that's.
They're
yeah,
asking you to
it's
get
just like
razors
someone.
I
behind the
mean that.
glass, and you're like,
I
I
think that
don't work
makes.
here.
I don't work
Yeah.
here. Like I don't want to be here.
Then you start facing the shelves. You're like, oh, let me pull up all
Yeah,
these things, like
I've
making
done
them neat.
that. I've like taken something off the shelf and they're like pulled the last three up and I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? And it just the music in there like makes you want to like
I mean,
like no.
I guess I feel that way when some people when I go visit somewhere and they're like, you guys you want to go to a brewery? I'm like, no.
I
I
work
work
at
at a
one.
brewery every fucking day. I don't want to go to a brewery. I want to go somewhere else because I
Yeah,
know what it's
yeah.
like to be there and I
Hmm.
know what some of these people are feeling right now. I don't want to
They're
go.
looking at you
And I
going,
So
know
it's not that you
so
don't enjoy like trying new beers and what's
no.
involved with that. It's
Yeah.
the environment. Like you don't want to be around that
No,
environment.
because like then I'm thinking about work and I already, I'm sure you think about work all the time. Like it's 24-hour job.
It's
You know,
so
you
hard not to
they make
critique
fun of
anytime there's a
people.
DJ.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I was like, so I'm like, when people joke around that business owners are the only people that, quit a 40-hour work week to work, 80-hour work week. But that's the only reason why I don't really like enjoy going to breweries is because I'm like, it's gonna make me think about work or I just, there's some that I will go because depending on if they have other things other than just beer, but
hmm
I'd rather go somewhere else. I'd rather go to a cocktail lounge and speakeasy and just enjoy some bourbon and just whatever. But you can't avoid if you go to a wedding. Are you judging are you judging the DJ?
And yeah, I mean, I've told my girlfriend now, fiance, I've told her that when we've gone out, like, listen, like I promise I'm gonna do my best not to critique this DJ. And it's a good or a bad thing. Like
yeah,
be in the moment, not be like, oh, like that was a great transition, or he's doing a good job, or this guy is horrible,
hmm
or like, oh, he's playing the song too. Like it's consuming, and
oh yeah,
Hmm.
it's not healthy, and it's not good for like for me to let go and enjoy myself, and also the person
mm,
that I'm with. So I've really tried
yeah,
to get better at just like experiencing it and letting it go, whether it's good or bad, and like maybe
yeah,
after the fact, we Monday morning quarterback it, and like, oh, what do you think of that DJ?
yeah.
But I definitely have tried to resist.
So when you hire a DJ, what are you looking for in a new DJ when they come? Like, are you looking for them to have a voice of their own, or like or be able to follow, the brand, the kind of voice of the company? Like, what do you look for?
Number one would be like a desire to be like fanatical about customer service,
Mm,
like
mm,
above anything, like because you know you're there giving a service that people hired you for your skill,
mm,
and we get shit on as DJs often, and
mm,
everyone set up in this corner, set up in that corner. You're playing too loud. You're not playing loud enough. You're not playing this song. Play my song, and
mm.
like it hits your ego.
Yeah,
And people will remember more if you were rude to them than if they had a great time,
mm.
right? People leave reviews 10 times more for negative things than they do
Oh
for
yeah,
positive things.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
I first look for customer service, people that are easygoing, they're flexible, um, and then yeah, that they are good DJs and they've got a good music catalog, and they're fresh and new and
mm,
hip,
mm,
because it's really easy, even for myself. I mean, as I'm phasing out of fresh and hip, to just play what you know and what you're used to doing, and
Yeah.
you become the wedding singer, right? You end up playing black eyed peas and man, I feel like a woman and living on a prayer and all those
Wow.
things. And like
You're
if you go to a
dating
wedding,
us. Yes,
if you go to
exactly.
a wedding like that, unless the bride and groom specifically wants that, and I've
Yeah.
done some weddings that this, I was like I was in a time machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to a wedding, there are some that like that, but if they're not like that, it's like it feels like you're in a time machine. People are like, this is really odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to be fresh, and you've got to have fresh music, and be willing to read the dance floor and ebb and
Mm.
flow. And what I like to do is bring the DJ on with me to do a couple of events,
Mm.
to watch how I do it, and then I'll go to do a couple of events that they do
Mm.
on their own, and I'll just kind of observe. And you can tell once I understand like as a person how they are as a person. Once I see them DJ a couple of times, like okay, that's fine. Like
Mm.
you got it. You got it.
Hmm.
You can take a playlist from a couple and also meet with them one or two times and understand like their vibe and what they're going for. And
So,
I can trust that they can rock that dance floor.
Mm.
so you're saying you
Awesome.
when you were saying about the time machine thing. So you would be talking to a couple, and if you could tell that they're very nostalgic and they just want to have that cheesy 80s, 90s, or 2000s wedding, you're like, okay, they're gonna want the black eye. It's like hot tub time machine. Here we go. Like
Yeah,
this is where it's at.
they're gonna
But
want Mambo number five.
yeah,
Oh God.
just because it's cheesy. But do you cut the length? Because cheesy's good up to a certain like minute, and then I'm like, okay, I want to move on with my ADHD of
Yeah.
cheesiness and like go
Nostalgia
to
can only last so long.
I find myself even when I do it when I have my own playlist, I'm like, yeah, living on the prayer is great, and then after the second chorus, I'm like, let's move on.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
like
know,
when Manny and I do like episodes where we're like listening to songs to see if they're nostalgic or still good or bad. We almost are like, how long are we going to sit here and listen to this song, right? Like,
Yeah,
if we could get through half, at least more than half, I feel like it passes. But like, most of the time, like when we did like Footloose, the song Footloose, we actually counted until when he actually got Footloose, and it like is over a minute until before it even happened, and we was like, you can't deal with this
that's
anymore.
a good barometer.
Yeah, it's just like if it's only sometimes you only need a minute. Sometimes you only need a minute just for that transition, maybe, right?
Well,
it's funny. Like I'm
there's
trying. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Manny.
I was just trying to think about like how you would judge it. Like you're, how do you stay hip? Like, are you listening to top 40? Are you just like seeing what the couples want? Are they kind of telling you? Is there like a DJ magazine that comes out? Like,
A magazine.
I'm
That's
fucking,
even more
I'm
distinct.
fucking
Like,
around.
man,
Dude, there's
is
a
there a
magazine for brewers.
periodical that
I'm
comes
just
out?
trying to,
DJ Digest.
DJ, like, yo, don't forget, this is the new trend. Like, is it like, how do you stay current?
I listen to a lot of music. I try and stay really open minded, right?
Mhm.
I also like, patting myself on the back a little bit. I've got a small gift where I can like hear something and say, like, I may not like this, but this is a good track for this event. I can plug this in there.
Okay.
Um, Spotify has been a godsend, right? Discover Weekly,
Hmm.
um, playlist made for me, Hot New Friday, right? And I'll play stuff. And, if I don't like it, I skip it. If I like it, I like it and add it to a playlist. I have a catalog of different playlists, and I categorize songs that way. I would say another way that I really find new music is if I'm doing a high school prom. And well, first I'll ask for requests in advance from the students. But while we're there, they'll let you know, like, hey, play this song. If I've never heard of it, I download it. And if I'm not sure if I can play it, I won't play it, just to be safe. But
Mhm.
all the songs that I got asked to play at the high school dance, I take note of it. And then later on, I then download those songs and I start trying to get familiar with those. Or if I go and do a Hispanic event and they're asking for, all this different type of cumbias music. And if they're asking for cumbia songs that I don't necessarily have, I take them and I keep a playlist of cumbias music. So I'll do a specific event, and when they're throwing songs at me that I don't already have, I know they're requesting it for a reason, and then I'll try and categorize those to make sure I have those for the next time I do an event for cumbia. So now, you know, I can probably DJ myself up to like a 2.5 hour Latin party of only Latin music,
Wow.
and just play
So you're
and
just
just playing the hit.
actively feeding yourself knowledge to continue your craft, because if you didn't, you
Oh
would have
yeah.
fizzled out a long time ago.
Mm,
Like, that's awesome to be able to, like, oh, I'm DJing this party right now, but let me at least
mm,
write all this down that you came up with, because this obviously means something if you're coming and asking. It's
yeah.
not, that's
And
awesome.
it's even like I would say really popular right now is country. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to despise country, and a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
was ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
But I took a trip to a bachelor party in Nashville.
Good
Um,
times.
I want to say like 6 or 7 years ago. And it's funny how music gets tied to experiences and memories, and all of a sudden means something, right? And I made a playlist after I came back from Nashville of all the songs that were like that we played, that were played at the bars, that were at the piano bar, and at the same time, country music now has been exploding.
Mm,
And now I wouldn't say I actively play country on the daily, but I'm a big advocate, and I like a lot of country music now. And
mm.
so now, as I'm doing events and people are asking for country music, I'm continuously adding it to my playlist. So I have more and more, because now you need to be able to DJ country into your sets now. Because Post Malone's got an album out, and
Hmm.
Beyonce's got an album out,
Jelly
and
roll.
Mm-hmm.
Jelly Roll, and these pop
Yeah.
stars are going and having country influenced and country infused albums, and I'm
Okay.
having to get more educated on that. And luckily, my ear has been tuned to it over the past 5 or 6 years, but it's
I
definitely
mean, good
something you have
thing
to
of it
add.
is it fills the dance floor, right? Because there's square dancing happens, and like I know that bars by me, they're doing like country.
Oh, you're
They
serious?
Yeah, they're doing country square dancing happening, and with like hip country music.
Mm.
It's happening like there's a bar, Nutty Irishman, and they were trying to fill
Nutty
their
Irishman.
Tuesday, and Tuesdays are country night,
That's
straight up
crazy.
just country the whole time. And like now
Wow.
they get like people that come in and wearing 8-gallon hats and just dressed like they're in Texas or Nashville, and they're doing their dances. Like it's like
Well,
watching the Macarena, but country style, which is
Oh
crazy.
my God. Well, I mean, that's a good transition into like putting some of these songs to the test, right? Like, so we sent you a list of group dance songs. We sort of already talked about a few, but we could, we'll hit some of these up, and then like as we do in the nostalgia test, it's like, is it still good? Does it pass the nostalgia test and it's still good? Does it fail the nostalgia test and is just nostalgic? Or does it fail so badly that it is a song that maybe we have to put on the shelf and like it needs to like it's had its time, right? So one of the first one that we sent was the Electric Boogie, or the Electric Slide, which I mean is a classic. Everyone knows the Electric Slide. It does it pass the nostalgia test?
it passes if you're at a black event.
Okay.
All right. If you're an
Really?
African American, well, okay. First of all, I'm a little in tune. I'm half black. My dad's black, so I understand kind of what that ear is listening for, and they will get down
On the
to the
Electric
electric
Slide.
slide. The electric
Mhm.
slide. Oh yeah, and like
The
add
original Electric Slide till
the
this day.
original. Yeah, at ad lib steps, extra move. Like yeah, it's great. Other than that, no, don't play it.
So,
Don't even. Yeah, it's not good. It's not
wow,
good.
that's
Only if
interesting.
you're at an African American party. That's the
Yeah,
only time you would bring it out. Not even a
yeah. I
cheesy
mean,
white boy party. Not even. It's just terrible
You
to
probably
watch.
can't do it then.
Because they're not
yeah.
even ad libbing. They're not even adding some spice to it. Like what?
Well, I mean, I guess you could if you had nothing else to do. I mean, like the
Yeah.
old adage, right? Black people dance to the beat, white people dance to the words. So if you give white people the words, right? Like they're gonna dance. They're gonna YMCA, like
Yeah,
left to the
Yeah.
left to the right to the
to
right.
the right. Yeah,
Footloose.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
so
yeah,
funny.
you
Yeah.
you you could if you had nothing
Okay.
else to do, you could, and you might be safe, but like it's not gonna like really spark the dance floor.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I,
That
I
makes
would
sense
say
to
I would
me.
say this stays nostalgic for me. I
I,
definitely I hate that song gives me PTSD of the amount of times I had to dance to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
I started adding an ad-libbing to make it funner
you got it.
because it was just so bad. So
You got it. I mean, I think it stays nostalgic, but what's funny is like anytime these conversations come up about, especially, white people with no flavor and all these things, especially
I
with
got
the,
flavor.
but yeah, I think with Italian, like my family's mostly Italian, and I feel like they love doing the electric slide. I feel like to them, if they hear it, they're like, we're doing this. Like it's
They're
really
dancing into the
interesting.
words. That's why, because
I don't know. I've seen my mom like, do some twists and turns that weren't in the original electric. Like,
So maybe the rule is like any culture that seasons their food with more than salt and pepper,
yeah.
like they're if pepper isn't too
It,
spicy.
is that yeah?
Yeah, I come from
Yeah.
a Portuguese family, so yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
There
yeah,
let's
you go.
go.
all
Yes.
Yeah.
right. I
So
I I
okay.
amend I amend
Yeah.
my original
I know.
statement.
I mean, hey, it makes sense. I mean, it's the thing. So the Macarena,
Ugh.
Macarena. I mean, I'm saying for me,
Trigger
I
warning.
I can't. I think it's not. It's nostalgic. It just makes nostalgia for me. But like it's very close.
I actually hated this song when it was out, like when it first came out. I don't know why this thing was such a hit. I would say this thing should just be on the shelf.
Oh,
That's my opinion.
wow.
But yeah,
Happening.
As we talked about earlier, it is having a slight renaissance, right? It is
yeah.
Mm,
coming back. One thing that I've been able to do to try and spice it up is I'll play it for like a minute
mm,
and then I mix in. There's a Tyga song
okay.
called A Macarena. Basically, he samples the Macarena, but it's got like a thick beat, and you got
Okay.
Tyga coming and rapping over it. And I'll do that
Wow.
transition with the Tyga version. But uh,
Okay.
even that, sometimes I get people that look at me and go like, "No, that didn't work.
No, we're not playing
That didn't work." But it is coming back, and thanks to TikTok, as you just educated me.
That's
Okay.
so
But
crazy.
for me personally, no, it's gone.
It's
It's gone.
gone. So totally
It's
gone.
gone.
Oh wow. Like take your pants off and jacket. Gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Tits.
yeah. I would
Horrible album.
if I didn't ever have to hear it again, I would be okay with that. Not even nostalgia.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what about the twist? This I don't know
The
why I put
twist,
it on
like
there.
you're talking about like the twist from like
Chubby Checker.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen like again, this is also I think
Is
more
that Chubby
block party
Checker?
DJing
yeah.
where I saw people doing the twist. Um, but
I feel like this is a song that could go on for like a minute and people would have a good time just like remembering the time that they liked the twist, but
not doing
it,
it.
it stays nostalgic, I think. I mean, it is a
Nostalgic.
good it's
Yeah,
a
it's nostalgic.
to me like this played a lot um at the places the things that I was dancing to, but like I'm sure he's not playing
The
this song.
problem is
Yeah.
I feel
Like
like a
Ryan's
lot
like,
no,
no, this doesn't I
they're
haven't played
not
this in
playing.
forever.
It would be hilarious if it just all of a sudden transitioned and people are like, what the hell is going on here? It's like, let's do the twist.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like so Manny and I are similar in age, and I have a really interesting affinity to like sock hops and
Okay.
right like and my fiance she thinks it's really quite cute that I used to love going to 50s diners and sock hops and the whole like grease thing, right? And that's because when I was in elementary school, the 50s were just as far away as the 80s are now, right? So
Yeah,
it was only 3 decades prior.
of course.
And I love the twist. Would I ever play it? No. The
Yeah,
only place I think that it's like apropos is when you're feeling the nostalgia of like an event. If you're doing a sock hop, um if you're having a barbecue where it's a 50s theme and you're doing a summer picnic, right? And people
Mm,
hear like, okay, like now I feel like I'm buying into the vibe, I'm buying into the theme of this event.
okay.
But as far as like playing it, there's a bar out here in LA called the Bungalow at the Fairmont Hotel in Santa Monica,
yeah.
and it feels like if you if you worked at Abercrombie and like they had an after party after work and everyone went
Okay.
to this like house party after their shift at Abercrombie
Yeah.
with like, very like nor'easter canoes on the wall and
Yeah.
it smells like cologne, like really strong cologne. Anyways, if people buy into that there. And if you were to play the twist while you were there, I think people would buy into it.
Yeah.
But only
Yeah.
when you're only when you're trying to sell a theme.
Okay.
Okay. That makes sense. So
That
what
does make
about
sense.
the cha-cha slide? That was the next one. That's a much I think it's that one I feel like passes. I
Still
feel like
works.
people do. Yeah, it still
Still
works.
works because of the words. I'm telling you, because you're being told what to do. Some people are afraid to dance.
Well,
Like
yeah.
they want to
Yeah.
dance, but they
No, you're
don't
right.
want to, like I'm
Mhm.
always on the dance floor.
You're always there.
I don't got to get paid. I'm there. But like, there people just don't want can't freestyle or they just want to be told what to do.
It's
And
Yeah.
safe
like that's why it
and
works.
strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have to feel that way when like you're like shit, like the floor has only got the 10 eccentrics, like the 10 people that are, always dancing. It's like I got to
Mhm.
get this place packed. So,
I gotta
yeah.
say, like, if I don't have to play it, I won't play it.
Uh-huh.
But if I do have to play it, I'm not ashamed.
Right.
To the cha cha slide, and the cha cha slide is one of those ones where, unless it's on the do not playlist,
Mm.
I won't play it on one request. But there's
Okay.
some where I'll get three, four, five requests at the same event. I'm like, you know what? Okay, it's not on the do not play. I've gotten it like four or five times. Let me just play it, and then I'm kind of uh taken back by then like it fills the dance floor. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't hate it, and I think it still works.
Makes sense. I say it passes. Why
I was
not?
at a corporate event and they played it. A bunch of people got on stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ironic that we're doing this right now. But I think
It's
I
a
was
good one.
me and this other guy were the only two dudes that were on stage,
Yeah.
but there were a
It's
lot
a
of
good
females
one.
on stage.
There's
It was
that
a good
really
one.
funny sketch with John Mulaney on SNL where he's talking to his girlfriend or whatever while they're
Yes.
doing the cha-cha slide, and he's just
Yeah.
like doing it effortlessly.
It
Like,
was a recent one. Yeah.
yeah,
He
it's
was at
kind
an
of funny.
African American party.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
yeah, and he knew more
And he's
about the dances
literally
than she did. Yeah.
he's got
Until
no spice.
it until they tell you to do the Charlie Brown, and everyone's like, "What is the Charlie Brown?"
Yeah, no one knows.
No one
No,
knows what
no
the
one
Charlie
knows it.
Brown. I
I
don't
feel
know what the
like
Charlie
that's like
Brown
a
is.
thing that you just freestyle at. Like, who cares? It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
There it is.
Oh my God. Well, I put on the
Oh,
conga
can't
by
believe this
Gloria
one's on
Estefan
here.
and the Miami Sound Machine because I think of the conga as a group dance because you can't just conga by like the conga line, like that's what it becomes basically. So I'm wondering maybe it's the idea of the conga line. Does that still pass the nostalgia test like at an event? And I don't know, like and this is one of those songs that does that.
Conga. Okay, people surprise me, and they will still bust out a conga line to not even a conga song. Like we're
Why?
DJing, and like a conga line just like right now. I'm like,
Why are
oh,
we why are we having does it turn into a limbo line as well?
it doesn't turn to a limbo line. I think it's part of like we don't know what to do, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
like we do, let's do a conga, and then a lot of people probably don't want to do it, but they're just like latching on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I quickly try and find a conga song now. Well, why they have the conga line going? They've already done the hard work. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can mix in a conga song. And a lot of times I
Okay.
mix in the conga song, and then they stop the conga. They're like, enough of this. I'm like, no, they don't need the
Yeah.
conga song. They just want to do the conga line.
Yeah.
So
But I'll
funny.
tell you my alternate to the song. Oh, no, let me save that. I want to hear what you think, Manny, first.
I hate this song. I like
Oh,
I
come
agree.
on.
I agree that like first of all, I find conga line weird.
It is.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
told to get on a fucking line.
I
Like
don't
I
want to be
said, like
touched like that.
I'm already
It,
dancing.
it
So
also
like
me too, me too movement. So
but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But like I
Exactly.
I
No
just
one. Yeah.
don't I don't want I just think it's weird but I understand as a DJ like okay, you finally got a bunch of people moving.
Hmm.
Now it's like how do I get them to stay on? But you're right, I've seen it fizzle out where it's like what happened? Like all of a sudden it's like dead air. It's like yeah, well, I was in it for a second and now I just realized I'm no longer in a group because I broke up from the other four
Yeah.
people that were holding
Yeah.
me and now I have to do something myself. Oh no. Like so
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. I think it
I always
stays.
try to run for my chair. I don't want to be grabbed by anyone to get into this thing. Like I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
If
That's when I
or
find the bathroom. You got to
yeah.
find the
or have to
bathroom
put
at
your
some point.
hands on like your grandmother's hips, right? And you're like, this
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
yeah,
awkward.
yeah, and then or like someone you don't know at the wedding. You're
yeah.
like, oh hey,
Hey, this is awkward.
okay,
Or hey,
like,
okay, yeah. Don't come anywhere near me.
yeah, no,
So my
I
my
was
my alternate to this is "Let's Get Loud" by Jennifer Lopez.
Okay,
okay,
okay.
That's my
That's
alternate to this, and that one normally works almost every time.
wow,
Yeah,
okay,
awesome. Huh.
I like it.
Awesome. All right, so
That
I'd
one I
say it
do
stays
like.
nostalgic. I like the song though. The conga line we got put on the shelf, but I like the song. I like Gloria Estefan's
really.
song. Yeah, I don't mind the song.
Dan's
It's
weird.
like, well, my
What do you
mom
sit
like
at home
it,
listening to it? I
all the
think this
time.
is
No,
nostalgic, and you're thinking it
it's
passes.
nostalgic. Yeah, it's
It's hard
nostalgic.
to dance. It's hard to dance to.
Yeah,
I've seen my
like you're
parents
just
do it. I
you're
don't
not
know
if you're
why.
not doing a conga line, you're not doing anything else to this song.
Well, if you do conga, if you do other dances, like
Sure. Do
if
you
you
know how to do
ballroom
conga?
dance, right? Like if you know how to
Yeah.
do that, you're doing it. So I've seen my parents do it.
Okay.
And my mom loved this song. She used to play this all the time, along with like Whitney Houston all the time in the house. So like
Got
it's
it.
like I would hear all this music all the time. So it's like it brings me to that space, that nostalgic space. But I'm not
Okay.
doing a conga line. I'm not getting up and doing that.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say you definitely wouldn't be. Like
no,
this is
I
why it's
you
funny that
definitely
I
wouldn't
was like,
be.
this is a nostalgic song for you.
Yeah. All right. So what about Watch Me Whip?
You mean like the
Watch Me
watch me
Maybe.
whip?
Yeah,
Watch me nene. I watch
absolutely.
me whip.
Silento.
Watch me nene. This is
Ooh,
a group song?
ooh,
Dude, have
ooh,
you ever seen
ooh,
the
ooh.
dance?
It's a dance. So
Yeah,
even though doesn't have to be done with a group, if there's a specific dance with it,
yeah,
Yeah.
then I would throw it in the group dance
yeah.
genre.
Okay.
It
Okay.
says what to do, but it also says like like you have to. There's people who are like, I don't know what to watch me whip means, but you have to watch the video first and then you'll go and do the dance. But it's like giving you like kind of telling you what to do. Do the stanky leg. I mean, have you
Uh
ever heard of it? Yeah, you heard it,
I've
maybe.
definitely heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, you would love
Yeah.
it.
No, I danced to this, Dan.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking like I never thought of it as a group song, but
I think
now
it is.
that I'm thinking, oh yeah, there's a massive group that was dancing with me. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
If
I
if
guess it stays nostalgic for me. But what do you think, Ryan?
you're probably an expert at the nene, which is why it's nostalgic for you.
Yeah,
It's so
but like
great.
I don't know. I guess I haven't been to a party like this that it was playing, so I guess I
Yeah.
haven't. I don't think about it as a group song. It's been
I
a while
feel I
since
feel
like
I
I'm no longer going to weddings. The wedding seasons are over for me. So, and I've learned I'm old enough now that I started saying no. Like, hey, we don't
now
have to go to this one.
you're going to divorce parties now.
Yeah, not
Well,
yet.
I don't know.
No, I just go to like only corporate events are the only
Yeah.
other ones that I've been to that I see like a DJ like that, or just at the bar we have a DJ.
Are you
Like,
watching them whip at the corporate event?
no, no, not really. I don't. This song
You
doesn't
know,
come on.
I think the problem with this list is that it's regional.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
It's regional more than it's even cultural, right?
You're
So
right.
like I've been to weddings in I'm not going to say where because it'll give away what wedding I was at, but in different parts of the country,
Yeah.
in middle America or even back east, and I
Hmm.
am floored at not even weddings, going out to nightclubs and bars, and the DJs
Yeah.
are spinning, and all of the people there are doing the cha cha slide and watch me whip and the Cupid shuffle. They're doing these, and I said I would get thrown out of a nightclub if I played that
if you
here.
played that there,
I
yeah,
would get I
Yeah.
would get thrown, and here they're loving it, and the bar owners are
Yeah.
like, yes, yes. So watch me. I would say for me is a definite hard no.
Hmm.
yeah,
However, if I was in the car with
Yeah.
like my friends, and we're all
Yeah.
similar age, and we're going out for the night, like that song came on, like we'd probably like have fun and be like doing it in the car and having a
yeah.
good time. But like if we
Yeah.
were out in front of like people in public, we'd be like, no, no.
I think you're
Yeah,
right though.
So
That's the funny thing about this but when I was putting this together too, and I was thinking like I had that sort of in mind because I do another podcast where we were talking to someone about hip hop and hip hop rhetoric and teaching hip hop in class and stuff. And he was talking about the actual aspects of regional hip hop and kind of like what's big here and what's big there and the song and what people listen to. It changes as you cross different state lines in different parts of the country, you know, even going north and south, even in the east and stuff. It all going to change. So it's funny you say that here because it's like you sometimes think that some of these are so universal, but you're right. Like a lot of it could be, you know, would be very hard to play like in a party situation somewhere else. I mean, I'm not, you know, who knows where you play the Gloria Stefan song. Maybe you do play that in Miami. I don't know.
Canada.
But like you know, but like Canada, Prague.
Sorry, Rich. My cousin's from Pickering. All right, YMCA.
Pickering.
It's back.
It's back.
How
Well,
is
there's a
it back?
reason why it's back,
It's
but
back.
it's back.
Is
Yeah.
it because of Hot to Go?
I think it was.
Maybe.
Because
I
That's
instead
thought
of
it was
Chicago
more
Row,
because it was used in a campaign, political campaign constantly. That it just
oh,
became like
wait,
embedded in.
you're
Trump
talking about like
used it at the end of
oh
his
you're right. He's used it a
he's
lot
been
this
using
past.
it
yeah.
forever. So like that's a
That
thing.
is
But
another reason why it's back. I think it was coming back before that.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
coming back before that.
George Chapel
I mean
Roan.
that's
I
probably
mean, I
why
think
they
it had
started
to
using
go.
it is because it was very like trendy. Yeah,
The first
definitely.
time I
Yeah,
heard Hot to Go, I was like, oh, this
this is the new
sounds,
YMCA.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
like the new YMCA. And all the kids were like in my class that I teach at USC, and they were like talking about that song and doing the song and spelling it out. I was like, oh God, this is the new
yeah.
YMCA. Like they were literally doing that. And I was like, it's so funny. Like it's a new song, but it's like
It's
the same
well,
song.
we just repeat ourselves, right?
Yeah,
Every
I guess
20
so.
years. Like we
It's all
just
cyclical.
it's just yeah.
Yeah.
So like it becomes the humans just like a certain thing. So like we
You know,
Yeah.
just have to
it's funny. Like my number one priority is that people are having a good time.
There you
As much as like I despise the YMCA, and even at my own wedding, if it was on my do not playlist,
go.
if they played it at my own wedding, it was on my own do not playlist. I mean, first of all, I'd probably be DJing my own wedding, but that's beside the point.
Would
But
you? Would
no,
you
no, no, no,
really?
no, no,
I
no,
was
no, no,
gonna
no, no,
say.
no, no. I'm totally
I would
God.
say why not just DJ before,
I would
record
leave
it,
single.
and just that's it. Leave it, you know.
Actually, that was a small thought. You know, a bit arrogant, but a small thought.
Yeah.
If it was at my wedding and it was on the do not playlist and they still played it, but it was a friggin' hit,
Yeah.
I would be okay with it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't I wouldn't be like crying inside. Like I would be able to get over like, you know what? Everyone loved it. For me, you know what? It's nostalgic for me
Yeah.
because I did it so many times on the cruise ship. It brings back a lot of good memories.
I'm sure.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
brings like a
Yeah.
lot of good times where I'd, be leaning on the dance floor and doing, ad libs and
Yeah.
YMCA and like, yeah. So
So
it's nostalgic for me
with the
Yeah.
cruise ship stuff, did you find that you were able to play more of these like group
for
songs
sure,
or
for sure.
a lot easier? It's like, oh
A
yeah, I'm
lot,
gonna
a
throw
lot
this in.
easier.
It's because
Mm.
they're kind of already in a group mentality. Like
They're already
you're
in group
in the
mentality. It's like summer camp, right?
yeah,
Mm.
It's like what day
yeah,
are we on? We're on day three of the cruise. Okay, they're starting to form some bonds already. There's already some cliques forming, and then like
yeah,
working on a cruise ship is like Groundhog's Day. Like the people get off, they come back on, and like, oh, where's the nightclub? Oh, what's this? Let me, it's like it's the same thing. It repeats itself. So you start
Yeah.
yeah.
to realize that a lot of those songs and those group dances they work. Sad
Nice.
but
Yeah.
true, and
Well,
they're universal. Part of
one
the
thing
culture.
I wanted to ask, and it
I
was
was just
what I
thinking
brought
like
up
Sam. I'm
about
sorry. You said
what
Sam at you. All I thought about was Metallica. I was like, there's no way. I've only been to one wedding where someone played a Metallica song, and it was because the bride was a Metallica fan, and she was like, I need to hear a Metallica song, and it was the funniest thing
when
I've
do
ever
you play
seen.
that? Do you play that in like during dinner?
Dude,
When is
it's
that
the
played?
bride. She gets to hear it whenever she wants. Like it's
Yeah.
literally if
She
she
wants to
says I
do
want to hear
some hair. What's it called? Hair rock or hair
it. Headbanging.
hair. Yeah, headbanging. Wow. I guess I dated myself in a different way. Headbanging.
Two,
Yeah.
actually three questions that I've been wanting to ask. Have you done an emo party?
Like just chemical
Was it
romance.
like an emo themed party
Yeah, like
or
where
an
like you
emo?
saw that worked a lot. Like it was like,
Um,
oh man, if you played My Chemical Romance, Blink 182, Taking
you
Back
know,
Sunday.
I've not done an emo party, but most weddings that we do, I have an emo set,
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's a blast.
blast.
Blink
Yeah.
182, Blink 182, My Chemical Romance, The Killers, um, Limp Bizkit, like just
Limp
anything
Biscuit is coming
anything
back.
late
Oh
90s,
yeah.
early 2000s, like alternative rock emo, and you
Hmm.
do, probably like 5 to 7 songs of it back to back to back, and it's just like a big shout session. It's a smash hit.
Yeah. So
Isn't it
we
crazy
found
that
like,
yeah,
especially in like Long Island, emo was I don't want to say it was the birthplace, but there was a lot of freaking bands here. And we used to have
yeah,
like
there was.
right in town in Mineola, we used to have a Deja One used to be where everybody went
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And when we played at the brewery, like most craft beer fans are emo fans. Like it's insane
Crazy.
what happens. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like everyone was quiet, and then all of a sudden it's like this loud craziness that's happening. And I'm one of them, but I'm just like, man, this
Mm.
is so I just wanted to know that. Next one is I brought it up as a joke before at your wedding. Um, I know that recording a set before a party would be so terrible because you couldn't
You can't read
you
the
don't know
crowd,
what the crowd is doing,
Mm.
right? Like that's what makes a
yeah.
good DJ is like, yo, it's
Reading the
dead.
crowd.
How do I what do they want? What is going on? Like that's the worst thing about when I do hire DJs at the brewery and they're like, it's too loud. And like I don't want to sound old, but it's like our brewery's very small. And I'm like, dude, how do you
Yeah.
not know that it's too loud to the point where it's like,
Read the room
yeah,
literally.
everybody's
Yeah.
walking away because it's hurting their ears. Like
Yeah.
there's loud, but then there's like it's excruciating, annoying. I'm
Mm.
not even having a good time. The guy was not reading the room at all. And I
Mm.
was like, you want me to pay you? Like you weren't, you were just, I could have done that. I could have just played what you just played things. Like you didn't,
Mm.
there was no BPM. Like there was no figuring out.
No beat matching.
No, like or like yeah, no beat matching, no like let's get the heart rhythm up and then bring it down and then up,
Yeah.
like none of that. And I was
And
just
then it was
like,
just like
this,
blasting Piano Man.
yeah, no, he didn't even do that. I was like, at least do that. At
At
least
least do
you'll
that.
come, maybe you'll get the crowd, maybe. Like, but it was
Oh my
no, it was
God,
terrible.
that's hilarious.
I was like, and I still remember it. This is like one of the worst days. It was the day before, which tomorrow. Are you DJing tomorrow somewhere? Are you
What's
guys at a
today?
party? Tomorrow's the
Tomorrow's
day
No,
before
Thanksgiving Eve.
tomorrow's
Is that as
Wednesday.
big?
Thanksgiving
No.
Eve.
We are setting up a couple of karaoke systems for family Thanksgiving parties that happen on Thursday. So we're doing a couple drop off and setups for
Oh
Cool.
wow.
for Thursday.
So you're finding
Wow.
No,
that
no,
karaoke is a booming thing.
our karaoke is blowing up,
Yeah,
That's
really.
blowing
cool.
up. Yeah.
Wow,
That's awesome.
that's
Wow.
awesome. All right, Dan, hold
Well,
on. I'm not done.
oh,
I gotta ask him. What is your favorite like EDM kind of music, like songs?
Uh, you know, I like the main. I'm a big fan of Calvin Harris. Um, I like Segala. I like a lot of hip house.
Hmm.
mm,
Um,
Are any of the songs like coming back from like when we were younger, like that, or is that just like too much? Like what was
Like
it,
Benny
Sandstorm
Benassi.
and stuff like that kind of like really?
Sandstorm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's part of like a nostalgia set. So when we're DJing, sometimes we'll do the emo set, right? So you've got them in that mentality. Okay, we're doing the emo set. We're singing along. Please tell me why my car's in the front. Yeah, all right. So you got them going that
That
way.
song must hit all the time.
Oh
That lit
God,
song doesn't matter all the time.
that
all
song's
all,
so good.
all the time. And woo. So they're doing that. Then you'll get them into maybe like a Natasha Bedingfield or like Unwritten, right? You take them down that road. So then you have kind of freedom to do whatever you really want. Then you do like a Sandstorm, or what was the
Castles in the
other?
Sky.
What's
Tell
that?
me why. Do we build castles in the sky?
I
Oh,
don't know that
tell me
one.
why.
Oh, that's a good one.
The castle's way up high. Oh my God. Please
Let's get
tell me
soaking wet.
why.
That's a good one.
We build castles in the sky. Oh, tell me
I
why.
I don't know. I know that song.
Oh,
Oh,
or like Alice DJ. That's always a good one. Alice DJ is like, that's classic though to me. That's nostalgic as shit.
yeah.
We would go up to like freaking snowboard trips from in college, just blasting Alice DJ.
I love that album.
Do you do
Oh
any Alice DJ or no?
no,
Oh, damn
but
it.
Satisfaction. That was what I was thinking of. So you'll do like a Sandstorm, and then like the Satisfaction by Benny Benassi, and
Okay.
you'll do a few of those to take them down that EDM. Remind them of like their high school days.
Yeah.
Mm,
If it's not like down a nostalgia trip,
mm-hmm.
I can't really play it. It's too gimmicky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's nostalgic for me. I think about waiting in line at Six Flags for Riddler's Revenge when I was like 17 years old, and I'm like, acting like I know how to do things with glow sticks and line.
Yeah.
We're all like,
That's me and Dan.
we
That
used
was
to do
me and
that.
Dan.
ready to go on the ride. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Throwing the invisible ball. That was us.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of morons.
That was us.
Like bunch of idiots. Like
Yeah, I would be at Club Exit.
We did,
Snow
yeah.
was
We went to
falling on my
Exit.
face. I
Club
might have done
Exit.
ecstasy. I'm not gonna admit it, but like, you
Yeah.
know, it's
We
just
went to
like
Exit
that
on
shit.
my birthday. It was insanity. And
Walk out and the sun's out.
we walked out,
Okay.
sun was out. Yeah. That was so weird.
Let me tell you something about nostalgia and music. The way it ties in with movies is, I'll say, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm,
That soundtrack from that movie it's iconic, and the
mm,
songs that they pulled they tie so beautifully together. It's like Chicago, and it's amazing, and I love
mm.
the way that they infuse that. So any movie's got a great soundtrack, I'm into it, especially when they can pull on the nostalgia strings, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well,
That you are the second person this week who's brought that movie up
yeah.
for me.
Well, I'll say
and
this.
not even on
Yeah.
a podcast. Just like they just talking about how awesome that soundtrack was.
I'll say this on that, and then I mean that we did The Wedding Singer, that movie, and that movie has a great soundtrack, but that movie's a terrible movie, and they tricked us.
Whoa.
They tricked
Well, I knew
us
Ryan was going to
with
say,
that
no, I like that
soundtrack.
movie.
No, you don't like that movie. Rewatch.
We watched the movie.
There are
Don't
no
think about the
jokes
soundtrack.
in that movie. The whole thing with the meatballs, that's not funny. Like
That's
like-
a good meatball.
we rewatched that movie and we were just like, oh no. Like, it's just
No,
like-
Dan and I watched that movie.
We were duped.
Yeah, we were like,
Literally.
they painted over this movie with just the soundtrack because
The
the soundtrack was sick.
soundtrack was
The
amazing.
soundtrack is what you wanted to hear. Like
Yeah.
that's why you were like, oh, Wedding Singer, oh, it's gonna make fun of like that.
Yeah.
But like it was nostalgic as shit and it was such a great soundtrack. But the actual movie itself, do you like Adam Sandler movies?
I used to. His older stuff.
You like his
Yeah,
older stuff?
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you
like,
don't like
Happy Gilmore, right? Like you can't really.
Yeah.
Happy
they're
Gilmore's
coming out a
classic.
second one.
Oh boy.
I heard that.
Yeah.
that. I'm not looking forward to it. As I said, I don't watch
Yes.
movies anymore.
We're very
Exactly. No one's
big
looking
big
forward to
here
it.
on the remake. We hate remakes or useless like we
Sequels,
said
yeah.
before, useless sequels. Like you're just
Yeah.
what I found lately is that because everything we were just saying is like a 20-year thing, it's just a cash grab now. Like, hey,
Right.
let's just
superheroes and sequels,
yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
let's
and
just do
superhero sequels.
like
Exactly.
legacy sequels are like so
It is,
easy to
yeah,
cash grab
oh,
because you know
ridiculous.
what? I'm just gonna go because I know I'm gonna get that nostalgic hit and it's gonna give me this like great feeling of remember Beetlejuice, blah blah. Like it was an okay Beetlejuice was fine, but I'm like it definitely wasn't necessary at all.
No,
Like
it
it
wasn't.
it didn't
No.
do anything to the franchise at all. And apparently there's gonna be a third one, which is
Great.
fucking crazy to me. But that's what happens when you make enough money.
Yeah.
You just keep making garbage. So
Well, Ryan.
did you watch Roadhouse?
No,
The
don't-
original
Wait.
Roadhouse?
the original. Yeah, was there a second one? Oh,
Yeah,
there was
they
a
just-
second one with some new heartthrob or something. That's insane.
They just did it with Jake Gyllenhaal. They just did a remake.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. It's a waste of time.
Don't watch it. Okay.
Don't watch
No.
it.
Right.
No.
This has been really fun. This was
Ryan's
such a
definitely
tangent
coming
at
on
the
the
end.
Ace
No,
Ventura show.
because you have to come on to do
Dan
like
can't. Dan's like, Manny,
Alrighty
shut
then.
up. I'm trying to
Yeah.
wrap up.
No, but
Like,
this was great. I mean, even I would love to, have you on another music episode. You have so much like knowledge of like even just like what people want to hear. I love that. But this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on, talking to us, schooling us on some of the things as well. And
Yeah, you guys are so cool.
can I ask
hey
him
man,
one more
thanks.
question, Dan? I
Yeah,
know
of
you want
course
to
you
go
can.
and
Go
cut us
ahead,
off. You're
Manny.
going to get mad at me. But we're not recording another episode after this. We usually do a backpack. Ryan, what if you're not DJing and you're not thinking about couples and and all this other thing? What is your favorite genre to listen to?
I just got asked that question the other day, and I have it could be everything from Stevie Wonder to cumbias. It could be anything. My favorite genre. It depends on what mood I'm in.
Yeah,
I do really like alt pop.
Okay.
all pop.
I do really like alt pop. Yeah.
Mm.
Like, do you
Think
have
of like
satellite radio on your
think of
car?
like jungle. Think of satellite radio. Who are you?
Yeah. Do you have Sirius radio in your car?
No.
No. What do you listen to? Apple?
Spotify.
Yeah, no,
Manny's the
I
only
pay
one
for
keeping
satellite.
that company alive.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
What
You
do you
and my
Pandora
mom.
too?
No, I don't. But I
No.
like All Nation, and All Nation has a new.
Okay.
They have All 2K. I play All 2K all the time, like because that's my it's alt pop. Like,
Oh my God! Of course,
you know?
if Sirius Radio wanted to hire us to come on and do a nostalgia show, I'm saying yes. But that company, I don't know how they pay bill. I don't know how they pay bills.
That Jeep keeps them alive by giving
Jeep.
people a year subscription.
I like jungle. Let me just read you to send us off with this. I'll read you the last 10 songs I've liked in my liked songs, which is gonna be
Great.
all over the place because I'm a DJ. We've got Glimpse of Us by Andy Morris, Green Mountain State by Trevor Hall, NYC in 1940 by Berlioz, Another Half by Cautious Clay. We've got 5 more. Peaceful Place, Leon Bridges, Push to Start by Tyla, Bad Dreams by Teddy Swims, and we have Be More by Steven Sanchez. So, Neil Francis. I also got Neil Francis. So,
All right.
Leon Bridges is the new song that he just came out with.
that's the new one. Yeah.
Dude, I haven't heard it yet. My best friend told me he was like, dude, you need to download this song. So good.
It's great. Yeah.
Amazing.
You guys are a lot of fun.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you.
I hope to be back. And if anyone in the LA area, Southern California area, is looking to have an amazing time at a party, and they're looking for DJs that play the right song at the right time, feel free to hit us up on our website or Instagram, musicmakesyouMove.com. We've got a great karaoke setup now that's rocking. We do photo booth, and we like to put on a great party. So
got that 360 photo booth?
It's set up in my living room right now.
Well, yes, you do. You got to.
That sounds really weird, but I'm testing it.
Yeah, I know. That's expensive shit, man. Yeah.
Well, everyone.
All right. See you later.
Definitely hit up Ryan. Follow them on Instagram. All the links will be in the show notes. And Ryan, again, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. And everyone, leave your comments. Leave your favorite party songs in the comments of this episode. Hit us up at the Nostalgia Test on Instagram with your favorite songs. And we'll see you at the next test, everyone. Peace.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.